Why do they never go in for me? Hey music lovers, yes, I'm back again. Been a while since my last video, and today we have a vinyl Wodge. Now, I haven't done one of these, it must be a month. I don't know where the time's gone. It's just ridiculous. So I thought I'd just update on some of the stuff I've been listening to recently. Listened to all of these at least once, some of them more than that. They're all records that I got various places. I might try and remember where I got them from as I go through them. But of course, dirt cheap as usual. Nothing here cost over, I think the most I paid for any of these is £3. I think. Possibly £3. Something like that, but they're all dirt cheap. Most of them I got for cheaper than that. I thought I'd start with this one. This is Japon Eternel, or I don't know if my pronunciation sucks, but I'm sure somebody will point it out. This is by a group called the Ensemble des Instruments Traditionnels du Japon. Now all the liner notes are in French, and my French is definitely not good enough to read most of that. It seems to be a collection of contemporaneous traditional Japanese music instrumentalists, mainly koto and shakuhachi, with tsutsumi, which is a kind of a drum, traditional Japanese drum. But it's quite lovely. It is quite lovely. I was really happy to pick up a bit of Japanese music on vinyl. Well, I've mentioned it before. I lived there for a fair while, and just lovely to hear this on vinyl. It's a mix. It seems to be. It was released in 1974 on a label that I've never heard of. Here we go. The Ariane label, which is obviously a French label. It seems to be a mixture of traditional Japanese music written in variant, like 200 to 300 years ago, and pieces of music written for traditional Japanese instruments in the early 70s. I've tried looking online for some information, but I can't find hardly anything. Basically, if you look up any of the names of the players, all you get is this album. So I don't know anything else, but I am very happy I picked that up. It was lovely. Got that in a charity shop, I think I got that there. Yeah. Another charity shop, a few more charity shop pickups. I think I got these all charity shop. Yeah, I did. Oh, they were there. Yeah. I picked this up, which is pretty good. Really enjoyed listening to this, actually. Connie Francis sings great country hits. She does some really good versions of songs, like she does I Walk the Line, Your Cheating Heart, Bye Bye Love. It's not strictly country. It verges on a kind of rockabilly, not rockabilly, but a rock and roll more presentation of the songs on the MGM label. It was quite enjoyable, actually. Singing the Blues is on here. Various other bits and pieces. So that was an interesting listen. That was a nice listen. Right, veering right away, completely different. As per usual, these are... Oh no, let's do that one first. Another later country album I got. I picked up a Glenn Campbell album. This is Bloodline. And there's some decent songs on here as well. This is a good album. Released in 76. So it's It's not a really typical mid-70s, pretty mainstream country record, but it's enjoyable enough to listen to on Capitol. What did I read about this? Yeah, it's a kind of semi-concept album of about relationships. So you've got a lot of songs about breaking up, missing people. It's all about how people relate to each other. A lot of the songs. I mean, you've got songs by. It's got a really, well, for me, a heart-wrenching song called "See You on Sunday" about a guy talking to his to his child, who's obviously lives with his mother. Don't know if the child's male or female, but anyway, I find that quite touching. Songs by Jimmy Webb. There's a Jimmy Webb song on here. But yeah, it's a decent record, that is. Right, complete change. Right, going from country to 80s pop. You know my soft spot for 80s pop, but I managed to pick up a copy of Midge's solo album, The Gift. This was better than I expected it to be. It really was. There's it's got the #1 single "If I Was on It," but it's got some really good songs. You've got, what was really good on here? It did a cover of "Living in the Past" by Jethro Tull, which is surprisingly good. It's quite a varied album. I thought it was a rather enjoyable listen. Things like Edo, which is Far Eastern influenced. Mark King plays bass on here on a fair amount of the tracks. Glenn Gregory does some backing vocals on a track. Who else we got? It's a decent enough record. I've played this a couple of times now, and I will definitely be spinning that again. I thought it would. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. There's a label. Pretty plain label, actually. But yeah, I would quite heartily recommend it to those people who do like 80s music. Also picked up a copy of a massive selling record from the 80s. I think this was released in 84. There we go. I finally got a copy of Tina Turner's Private Dancer. I had this on tape. I think I got this on tape last year. I really like this album. I really, really like it. So I didn't realise how many songs had been released off it as singles. I mean, you've got What's Love Got to Do with It, obviously. I Can't Stand the Rain, which I actually had on a 7-inch somewhere. Obviously, Private Dancer, the title track. Let's Stay Together was released as a single, British Top 10 hit. Better Be Good to Me, really good poppy rock song. And then it rounds out with a couple of covers. Help, which was also released as a single, and a version of 1984, which is I really enjoyed that. The David Bowie song off Diamond Dogs. So I'd never realised that had been covered by anybody on Capitol. There we go, 80s Capitol. So yeah, stonking great chunk of nostalgia for me, because I remember these songs being played all the time around 84, and I really enjoyed it. Record I picked these next couple are boot sale finds, found for £1 just on some guy's stall. This one's been shown a lot. Cover's not in great shape, but the record's really good. Nancy's Greatest Hits, Nancy Sinatra. There's a lot of people have shown this. It's a fairly common record to get, but it's great if you can pick a copy up, because there's some cracking songs on here. Got a lot of songs with Lee Hazelwood on here. Things like Summer Wine. Jackson. Something Stupid, a duet with Frank is on here. Some Velvet Morning, which is a fantastic song. So this is well worth picking up on Reprise. I don't know why, it's a really plain label, the Reprise label, but I do like it. Maybe it's just the simplicity of it I like for that one. Top compilation. If you ever get to see that in decent shape, pick it up. And the other thing I picked up at the boot sale was this one, which is the Bee Gees, Sound of Love. This is actually a budget reissue of the second disc of Odessa, the Bee Gees album they released. I think it's was it 68 they released Odessa? Maybe later, maybe later than that. Does it say on here when the production was? 69. So it was 1969. Yeah, you're getting that first period Bee Gees in Excelsis on here, and it's great. I mean, I really like the early Bee Gees. Not that I don't like the later disco-y stuff as well, but that early stuff is fantastic. So now I will be looking out for a copy of Odessa, or the accompanying budget reissue of the first disc. It's quite nice to get both, actually. But this is great. Really, really enjoyed that. I've really enjoyed listening to all of this batch of records. There's not really a duff record among them. The second half of these records, I went to a local town near me called Newton Abbot. I go there sometimes just to check things out. It's only about 20-25 minutes away from Exeter, so sometimes I just, on a day where I've got nothing else going on, I might go out and check it. And I went in one charity shop and I thought, my goodness me, I've just found a haul and a half. And unfortunately, as I went through the records, it was like they'd been used as dinner plates. Awful. Truly, truly awful. There were things like Faust in there. There was, what else was there? I'm sure there were early Elton John, really early stuff, all kinds of stuff. And the only one that I could find that was even remotely worth picking up was this one. So this is kind of shows the kind of records that there were. I can't remember what else was in there now, but I was so gutted that most of it was scratched. This is Live in London by Amandul 2, the krautrock band. And I love that cover. I think that's a terrific cover. Brilliant stuff. Even then, it's pretty ropey quality. It's warped, but it does play just. I don't know if you can. It doesn't look too bad there, but when it's on a turntable, it's yeah, it's barely playable. I'm going to try and do something about it, but on UA, United Artists, I mean, it's a terrific album. A bit crackly in places, but I picked that up for £3 and I thought, I've got to take something of this. I've got to take something from this lot, even if it's not perfect. I mean, there's a bit of damage on the back cover, you can see there. But loved that. Loved listening to that. Really nice to pick that up. There's also, now where did I get this from? And then there's, and then the rest of the records I bought from a record shop in Newton Abbot called Phoenix Records. Been there before, showed some CDs I got from there once. Don't know if I bought vinyl from there before, but I saw this for £3 and I thought, I'm having this. So this is, I love this album. This is The Roaring Silence by Manfred Mann's Earth Band, released in, I do believe, 76, yeah, on bronze. Dean, Grandma's Handbag, was lovely enough to send me a CD copy of this, because I can't remember how it came about. I think I said I'd always wanted to hear it, or I'd loved it, or something. I can't remember, but can you see the bronze? Yeah, I think, yeah. Don't think the glare's too bad. Maybe it is. So Dean from Grandma's Handbag was lovely enough to send me a copy, and then I saw this for £3 and I thought, right, yep, getting that. That is coming home with me. That might also have been in the same batch as Yamondoul, actually. Same charity shop. So I managed to rescue 2. This is in much better condition. I was chuffed to pick up a copy of that. Another artist. Now, who was it? Was it James? Was it James Griffis he was talking about? I know James has talked about Al Stewart, but there's a lot of people who've talked about Al Stewart on videos. And I saw these 2 for I think 2 for £5. So I picked up copies of Modern Times and a copy of Orange. They're good singer-songwriter sort of fare. They're nothing remarkable. But I think I need to listen to these a bit more, to be honest. On that Orange CBS Sunburst, or Sunburst? I don't know, Sunrise label. I mean, some of the guests on is it Orange is, I mean, you've got Rick Wakeman appears, seem to get everywhere. Brinsley Schwartz plays guitar. Don't know, recognise many other people, but they're a decent pair of albums. Who's this? Alan Parsons was produced that one. Who produced that one? To engineer, producer, somebody else. But I think I need to listen to both of these again, properly, to give them a fair chance. I don't think they're not the sort of albums that you immediately go, wow. I think these are going to be growers, to be honest. But they were a nice enough listen. And then round off. Long-term viewers might know that I have a bit of a love for all things Olivia Newton-John, and I managed to pick up 3 of her albums, dirt cheap. These were dirt cheap. So I picked up. Now, is this her debut? I think this might. It's either a first or second album. I can't remember. So this is her self-titled album, Olivia Newton-John. Lovely condition. This one, unfortunately, has got a slight skip on one track. Otherwise, it is in lovely condition. I think it seems to be, yeah, it's some kind of, I don't know what happened there. I might have another, there's a scratch. It is a scratch, I can feel it. Right, on the Pie label. Going to keep this for now, but I reckon it'll be fairly easy to find another copy of that one. I mean, not many people actually buy Olivia Newton-John records anymore, which is a shame because they're really nice poppy country, sort of really easy. And sometimes I just like to listen to something that's got a woman's voice on it and just like is quite lovely, to be honest. So there's that one. I got this one, Long Live Love. This was it's a UK only released in '74, and this was actually in '74 she represented the UK at the Eurovision Song Contest, and back then in the mid '70s it seemed to be the thing that, or the early '70s, that one singer sang all the songs. So they chose the singer first, and then the public vote was for which song was best. And I think it's all 6 of the songs made this album. So it's a kind of Eurovision concept album, really, with some other covers. Got some really good songs on here. This is my favourite of the 3 songs, 3 albums I got. it's not challenging in any particular way, but sometimes I just need, I think if you've been listening to, I don't know, I just like the variety these records give me. And what a gorgeous picture of ONJ, to be honest. Yeah, Long Live Love I like. Typical mid-70s Eurovision style pop. Maybe if it had been by another artist I would have gone but oh well, there we go. And then this one is not quite as good. Her 1977 album. Making a Good Thing Better. Sorry, I was miles away there. I was looking at one of the tracks trying to remember. It's okay. I mean, it's got a... Don't Cry For Me Argentina is a song I usually cannot stand to listen to. I just really don't like it. But it's okay on here. I can just about tolerate it. But yeah, bit of ONJ to end with. So, typical mix of stuff. Some of it people are going to think trash. Some of it will think some of it's interesting, but I enjoyed listening to all of it. And that's what counts, really. It's what I enjoy. If you agree, lovely. If you don't agree, lovely. Your opinions are valuable, but they don't count in what I like. So there we go. Ha-ha. Right. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you found something either mildly amusing, slightly annoying, or anywhere in between. I can't imagine people getting hot under the collar about most of these selections. I don't think I would, to be honest. Apart from the Amandoul. The Amandoul is a terrific album. Actually, Roaring Silence is a terrific album as well. And the Nancy. So there's a lot of good records here, mixed up with maybe what some people would call a lot of fluff, but I quite like fluff sometimes, so there we go. Right, that's me over and out. So I'll see you all again soon. I've got several videos to do as usual. Next up, probably I've got to do a bit more research on it, or at least listen to some of the records again. But hopefully, as part of my British Indie and Me series, I'm finally going to do a video on Grebo, which was my original channel name. And you'll finally see the records that I adore from that period, about 87, 88, veering into 89. I might have to even split that into more than one video. Well, it's definitely going to be more than one, but it might be longer. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. So, thanks again, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye!